K-Rock Mid-Atlantic Rock Reviews Marmy Rock Show. I'm here with John Allen of Stone Horses. John is no stranger to the show and no stranger to you guys. If you remember SR-71, Charm City Devils, storied career of John Allen. John, welcome back to the show.
Good to be back.
We always love having you, man, and watching all your projects. And, you know, you guys are built as a band from Washington, D.C., but a lot of Baltimore people like to claim you for their own. Tell me about that.
Well, I was trying to, I keep moving, and my residence now is probably smack between D.C. and Baltimore. I guess we should change that on the bio, huh? But, yeah, it was me, and the original bass player was from, residing in Frederick area, so I thought half the band's from D.C., half the band's from Baltimore. There's really kind of no way to sort of say that gracefully, but now our bass player lives in Philly, so now we're a Philly, Baltimore, D.C. sort of band.
A Mid-Atlantic band is perfect for us, so we love that stuff. So do introduce the band to everybody. We of course have had Ted Merrill on the show from Mach 22 and DMK before. Who else is in the band these days? Of course, we know your legendary drummer, but go ahead and tell everybody for that doesn't know.
Man About Town, Jason Heiser. What can you say about Jason?
I can say this. Every time I go to a live show in Baltimore, he seems to be there. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Man About Town. He's always out. He's always like, I'm sick. I'm like, I know, dude, because you're always like burning the candle from both ends. But so I got Jason playing with me again, and the bass player is the newest addition. His name's Rick Reynolds. He's from Australia. Originally, he's been in the States now for a few years. So he was living in Texas for a bit. And now he lives up in Philly. But he was a godsend, man. He filled in real quick before our EP release with about like a week's worth of rehearsal, and just jumped right in, and then flew to Spokane to play with Greta Van Fleet with us, and just has fit right in. He's killer on stage. He's great guy, just a real larrikin, as they say down under.
Now I'm going to ask you about that Greta show in a minute, but
do you need me to tell you how to spell larrikin?
I'm not going to. I'm not even going to try.
You're not transposing.
Nope. I'm just going to gloss right over that one. So, the Stone Horses EP is out right now, and when Reckless Ways came out, that thing seemed to like explode. Were you guys taken aback a little bit by how much it exploded, or were you kind of happy and expecting it?
Yeah, I mean, I worked on that song for a long time, and it was nice to, like, especially people in the industry were like, this is a great song. So, that meant a lot, and that it's always great to hear your song on the radio. It got a lot of ads, they call it, in the business when you get added to a playlist, and that was. And since we did it all ourselves, it was especially cool, And
you guys are charting now, right? I mean, brag about it a little bit.
Yeah, it was number 35 on Billboard's mainstream rock chart, and 36 on, I guess, Media Base. I mean, it's a trip. It's like, wow, so cool. So, because we have label interest now, we're talking to a label from the UK, and we'll see how that, what happens with that. Where's some wood? Knock on some wood. Some faux wood.
Some fake wood. We're in a van here, so
fake wood in my
So when I listened to the EP, and I think I even asked you about it once, Believe is a tune that immediately caught my attention. It's my favorite track still on the record, so cool. I want you to tell me about that song.
Thank you. Gosh, we haven't played that live now in a while. I forgot about it the last show. I was writing set list, and I'm like, man, I think there's another song, and I just completely blanked on that one. To me, that's probably my favorite song on the record as well.
Oh wow.
Because I'm kind of I'm talking about things that. As an artist, I guess you kind of sometimes you're sensitive to, and how how much people are hurting in this country, whether they be black or white or Hispanic or whatever. And it's a song that kind of is talking about a broad range of subjects, and talking about the everyday struggles with people between opioid addiction and racism and whatever. Pick the problem, and I tried to kind of paint a picture about those different issues in that song.
It's a great tune, man. I still play it all the time. I love it very much. Now, you guys just recently shot a music video at Baltimore Soundstage. Why don't you tell folks about that? And it's a new song. I don't even think it's out yet, is it?
No, it's a brand new tune. We shot a bunch of live shots for it. We have to shoot some. We want to shoot some storyline type of shots as well. Except one of my cameraman's too afraid. I want to go into this abandoned mansion in Baltimore City, and I guess since Baltimore was just named like the most dangerous city or something, I think he's afraid. I'm like, come on, man. We grew up in the dock, man. Both he and I, we've known each other since high school, and I was like, come on, we can do it, So I'm gonna convince somebody to get into this old, decrepit, ancient like place and do some real eerie kind of shots.
If you want a no talent guy with an iPhone, I'm your guy. I'll go in there with you. I don't mind
okay,
it.
All right.
So,
I might be calling you.
Hey, you alluded to this. You guys were just out in Washington, and so you're an East Coast band, originating out of the East Coast, but getting national attention. But man, opening for Greta Van Fleet, that's a pretty cool show. Tell me about it.
Great, yeah. Well, the radio station out there, it was their they do these free shows. It's out in Spokane, and they do these Too Broke to Rock shows, so they're free. So they had a bunch of bands on it. It was the 40th one that they've done.
Oh my gosh!
Over the span of so many years, and we did one with Charm City, a few years back, but this one was really awesome, man, because it was their 40th one. It was jam-packed. It was like almost 2,000 people there, sold out. Greta Van Fleet, those kids were, man, those boys were awesome and just the sweetest human beings, man. They were really, really great to play with, and all the other bands. There was 2 local acts on, us, and then a band from Canada. God, the name's escaping me right now.
Glorious
Sons. Yeah. And they were fantastic too. Just such a cool vibe, So it was just an incredible night. The Greta guys, we were hanging with them, on their bus and just drinking and just talking music and stuff. It's just a very, very welcoming bunch of people, just really down to earth, and just a phenomenal band live. I can't say enough.
Now, going back in your history, correct me first if I'm wrong. I'll take this question back, and I will edit it. You guys did Rock on the Range at one point, right? You've done Rock on the Range.
We did.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to my 6th Rock on the Range in a row, and it's a festival we love. Tell me about your Rock on the Range experience as an artist, looking out at that crowd, the whole thing.
It was awesome. We were on the Jägermeister stage, but still, it was on one of the outsides of the stadium. But there were still like, I don't know, 1,000 people there, and people were up on the staircases going into the stadium, so they were hanging over watching us, and it was just a sea of people, and it was a blast. The one memory etched in my brain from that show was they had little, plastic Jaeger shot glasses.
Oh no, I think I know where this is going.
And the guy threw one at me, and it hit me right in my
no.
And I was like, damn. I'm like, man, that guy's good. I mean, that's a small target to nail that little guy.
Oh gosh. So hey, just one or two more things. We were talking in our hotel room, friends of ours, love Man of Constant Sorrow, love your guys' take on it, and I always kind of look at you guys, and Ted's a young guy, and you're young for having that old classic blues roots. Where does that come from you? Like, what was it about those old blues folks that got to you, and when did you discover it?
When I was a kid, I remember somebody gave me this rock and roll encyclopedia, and I used to, on summer nights when I couldn't fall asleep, before I guess I had a TV in my room. I was maybe too young to have a TV in my room or whatever, and maybe my parents were actually being good parents at that point, I don't know. And I would just read about these bands, and I would read about, the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and Beatles, and this one guy that kept popping up, especially in the Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and Eric Clapton biographies, was Robert Johnson. So when I got older, I thought, I got to seek this guy out. He's the touchstone for rock, right? So finally, you know, through research or whatever, and they released, I guess Columbia a few years back released a complete set of his 38 recordings. You know, there are a lot of like double takes of songs, so there's not actually 38 songs, but there's 38 recordings. And yeah, you know, like you listen to it and you go, oh yeah, okay, I hear Zeppelin there. I hear a little bit of Zeppelin here. You know, you can hear where some of the influences came from, and it's amazing. And the guy, he's the guy that that everybody said, you know, sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads, and you can understand why, because you get to figure this is 1930s, and you're listening to these recordings, it sounds like two people are playing guitar, and it's just him. So you know, like the way I read it is, I've read is that he was just a normal kind of blues guitar player. And you know, just like the neighborhood guy, and he disappeared for a while. Now I don't know if he went on tour or what he did, but he came back, and all of a sudden he could really play. You know, and people were like, "Whoa!" You know, like that's got to be
something mythical happened. Yeah,
something. You know, because that can't be just Robert. You know, and it's amazing. Like you listen to it, you're like, "Wow!" It'll blow you away.
So, hey, last thing, were you any hopes for a tour coming up for you guys? I know you're talking, you know, label and stuff like that, and it's tough to go on tour. We get it, man. But is that the hope for this band? Is that we'll be seeing you hitting the tour circuit full time?
We'd like to, most definitely. I think we need to get like the next EP out, and hopefully, you know, that'll give us, you know, enough traction to jump on some tours here. You know, we've talked to a couple of different people. But, you know, and in the talks with the UK label, that's one of the things that they're talking about is bringing us over, which is really attractive to us.
Oh, I think you guys would do amazing over there in Europe. Yeah,
it would be awesome. I mean, I've heard like the crowds over there. Once you make the fans, they're loyal and faithful, and you know, it's something that we would love to do. And you know, I love to travel anyway. I love Greece and France, and we went to England already. So, and the label's based in the UK, so it would be a dream come true for me to get over there.
Well, we always love seeing you, man. John Allen from Stone Horses, and we're looking forward to seeing you tonight at Millennium Music Conference up here, and we'll keep an eye out for the new stuff coming out as well. So thanks a lot for being here again.
Thank you.